everyone. This little Morelia bredli is Tria, and she has been with us since November of 2019, and this is June of 2020. She is very used to handling, very used to coming out of her enclosure and being on one of our activity stations, and that's because she's part of our cohabitation study, and she lives with another Morelia bredli that is not her sister, but the animal is another female bredli, and she's the same age as Tria. They're 1 day apart. And because they cohabitate, whenever I'm feeding them, I've made it a habit since they arrived to take them out and feed them individually on an activity station, or to feed one in the enclosure and one out of the enclosure. Tria has always been the more outgoing of the two, and she often seeks to come out of her enclosure, which she was tonight. She was at the door, and all I did was open it. She did not move away. She started to climb out of the enclosure. I picked her up and put her on the activity station. And so now we're going to do a target training session with her. She's fairly new to target training, but we're kind of killing two birds with one stone here. Not only is it orienting her to one of the station tubs that we use, but she's also going to get to practice target training while she's out. The first thing I want to do is make sure that she sees the target and that she's orienting towards it. And at this early stage in her training, I just want to see that she's orienting towards the target, that she's moving towards it. I would like just a little more from her than that. Now she's getting into food mode because she knows that this target signals food. She's used to it being a food reward. I would ideally like her to orient towards it. There, good girl. Good. Nice job, little girl. She didn't orient towards it any more that second time than she did the first time. But the first time I kind of assessed a little bit how much I felt I could stretch her, and I didn't feel like I could stretch her very far. She oriented towards it. She came forward a little bit and then started getting into the strike position because she is associating it with food, which is what we want at this point in time. So I wanted to reset and have her practice that one more time, and then time the reinforcement as soon as she oriented towards the target, and that all went really well. We're just gonna let her eat, and when she's finished, then we'll be putting her back into her enclosure. And while she's eating, I'm going to feed her roommate, who is Lya, and Lya is a little bit more shy. She doesn't always come out of her enclosure, but I see that she's over there hanging over the threshold of the enclosure. And I'll go assess her behavior tonight and decide if I'm going to target train her in the enclosure or have her come out.